Like for the minor pentatonic in this case, it's only 5 notes. So it's like 5 words. It's like 5 words. Okay? And we have the lower octave down here, okay? So can anybody tell me, besides Dick, what one note below 2 draw would be that would stay in this scale? So if 2 draw is the same as 6 blow, right? Which we've established it is, it's an octave. What note is an octave below 5 draw? Anybody? No? Good guess though, appreciate the try. 2 draw bend. So here's our lower incomplete pentatonic scale. Check it out. So just from these 2 notes, do you remember earlier today in the class, a couple of us said, when you don't have to think about what note you're going to go to next, you can start to think about how you're going to play it. So music is composed of 3 things: melody, rhythm, and harmony. Okay, we're bypassing harmony right now. We have a fixed grouping of notes that some dude named Pythagoras figured out something like 3,000 years ago that they all work. We're finding out now that, just as a side note, that the Sumerians did this shit before him. Okay, so when we have the melody, which is our scale, and we get used to playing it, and we change that muscle memory from playing every single note because it works, right? There's nothing wrong with those notes, right? There's only something wrong with it when they play us. When we don't play them. When every time we're going up the harp we hit 4 draw bend, then the instrument starts to play us. There's nothing wrong with 4 draw bend. There's nothing wrong with any note. No one note is better than another note. That'd be racist. It'd be a racist thing against notes. That would be a classist type of thing, right? Somebody, what's your favorite key, Jason? I don't know. Blue, green, brown, up, down, north, east, south. You need them all to express yourself, right? What's your favorite note? There's no such thing. If I know that my scale is limited to 2 draw and 2 draw bend, I can now start to think about my rhythm. So I only have 2 notes. So I can just play. Just 1. All right, give me 3. Give me 3. So we'll do this one, this one, this one. It's like almost like having a drum set that only has 3 drums on it, right? My snare's a 2 draw, my rack tom's a 3 draw bend a half step, my other rack tom is the 4 blow, so I could play. See where I'm going with it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. When I don't have to think about what note I'm going to play next, I can start to think about how I'm going to play it. And the first place I'm going to go is rhythmic. You know,
So the first place you're gonna
rhythmically.
Go is, yeah.
You know, when I listen to my playing, from 1998 circa to 2008 or 9, my own playing, right? I was really off into all these different modes and melodies and overblowing and right? And I thought it was pretty much hot shit. Okay. And I'm glad I did it. But when I got down to New Orleans, I was expecting there to be some really heavy cats down there, man. Like playing Charlie Parker backwards and all this really advanced jazz and shit. I was very surprised to find out that most of the musicians in New Orleans were playing that scale. Really, really funky. Really, really funky. It's not about, when I listen to my playing back at that time, if you take the notes out, take out the, you know what you hear? This. Rhythmically, it's boring. It's boring. It's overly repetitive. 10 years of my life, I essentially ignored rhythm. That doesn't mean I wasn't grooving, but I was grooving in a really boring way. When I got down there, this is what I heard.
Yeah.
Fucking lots of diverse things happening. Didn't mean this isn't some argument of less is more. Okay, some artistic bullshit I'm trying to feed you to be like Miles Davis. You can play your ass off. Okay, just be aware of the differences. You don't need a billion notes. Notice I don't have 2 octaves. I have a little bit down here just because I want to get you going. Okay, what's your name?
Alan.
Alan? Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Show me, give me the first 3 notes of the scale.
Oh, God.
You got it, dude. Listen to me. The least prepared you are for this, the better you're going to do it. Okay, so just a little less on the bend. Is that a C harp? Hey, give me a C. Give me a C, because we're going to do something. Check it out, guys. The more you know who struggles with this? The cats that can really, really play. Those are the guys who can't play in a fixed grouping of notes. Because they're aware that all the other notes work and that they're okay. So why not put them in? One more time. Accentuate everything, accentuate nothing. You know what I mean? Okay, let me hear it. Not bad. Now what I want you to do is, I want you to get that 3 draw nice and bent down. Because remember, this is our minor note. Okay, a little less. Try pulling from the back of your throat. Beautiful. Do it again.
Oh, do it again.
Do it again. Bend it down. Keep it bent. Keep it bent. Out. Listen to me. Don't even worry about the third note. There it is. Do it again. Just kind of pull from the back of your... There it is. Just keep it bent though. Close. There it is. Okay, so check it out. So Al is just learning the minor pentatonic scale. And he's struggling with one of the notes on the scale, okay? Check this shit out, all right? This isn't really about the scale. And I said earlier, it's not about the notes that are in it. It's really about the notes that are not in it. It's not even about that. This is a litmus test. When you watch a skateboarder or an athlete jump on the field or wherever, they do the same thing in the morning when they first get on their board. And it's a trick. And they're not checking to see if they can do the trick. We're all going to learn this scale today in this room. And some of you already know it. Okay? Why is it that I've been playing for 25 years professionally, have a BMA award, and I'm still working on it? Because I'm no different than the skateboarder who steps on the trick and steps on the board and tries that first trick in the morning. It's not to see if I can do it. It's how's the board feel? How are the trucks? How's that injury from last week? When I'm doing this, I'm not seeing if I can play the scale. I know I can. I'm seeing, how's my 3-draw bend sound? Is it sharp? Is it flat? Does it sound like a bend, or does it sound like a regular note? One time Dick sat me down in a hotel room, and he said when I'm playing, and at the time I thought it was kind of boring, a little beneath me, like really rudimentary. And then the more I started working on this stuff, the more I started realizing it took me about 2 years, I think, before I started it. And he said, imagine a violin bow. And I think Richard said it today too. Can Jason play the pentatonic scale? Yeah. Can Jason play it in tune? Depends on the harp. Depends on the day. Depends on how much I've been practicing that. You know, how's my intonation? How's my breath control? How's my tone? Can I do it tongue blocking? Can I do it lip pursing? Can I do it with staccato? How about double beats? Triple. Yeah. So you always think you learned some shit. And when somebody comes along and Mr. Miyagi's your ass with the fucking wax on, wax off shit. And then you realize what you learned was for something bigger. That bigger thing is almost always rhythm, guys. It almost always is. You know what I mean? Because man, rhythm, you can write notes out. You can write them out on a piece of paper. But you cannot notate how to swing. Can't put that on a piece of paper. What's that word mean? Swing. The elasticity of time. Whoa, 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 whoa. Like the hammers on the tracks that come down.
Yeah.
There's that one before, then the one after, then the one on the beat, and then a couple that follow up after that. We don't have a way to write that, guys. It's abstract. When you're dealing with something abstract, you're dealing with something beyond this. And that's where this shit is, man. You know, we can learn it. We can learn it on YouTube. We can read it in John Gindick's books. We can go to David Barrett's masterclass. But until you feel it, it ain't gonna do anything. And coming to this kind of event, being around it, you get it through osmosis. You know what I mean? And you get it by oversimplifying. Like, what did Richard say today? Session. Take something little and concentrate on it. Don't end up like me and do years and years of now it's good, I'm glad I did that. No, nobody had really done that before. Pat Ramsey a little bit, but you know what? In the end, man, I wasn't really enjoying music. It was like almost like I was trying to get karate belts. Like or like put notches on my, on my gun. Like, oh, this is what I can do, this is how fast I can do it. No, I wanted to do this to accomplish something, but not to make music. All right, you're not off the hook, Al.
All right,
Okay. Yeah, I know you don't care. I know you don't care. That's bullshit. You care a lot. All right.
You're on stage, baby.
watch out now.
So now, guys, check this shit out. So this is Quist TV. All right, hold on. And it's Quist. This is a YouTube channel that's wonderful for practicing scales. Okay? Don't freeze up on me now. Because there's only 2 chords on it. And what does that mean? So when you have less chords, right, the value of things is simpler. Like, for example, why isn't this working? For example, like, say I'm wearing a tuxedo, right? A black and white tuxedo. And I wear a pink bow tie. That pink bow tie is really going to stand out. Okay, it's really going to stand out. But if I'm wearing a pink bow tie and orange shoes and a green bracelet, the value of that pink bow tie has sort of changed now, hasn't it? Okay, it's no longer sticking out. Okay, that's what we're doing here. Okay, And when you're dealing with just two chords, which won't deal with me, okay, on the internet here, when you're dealing with just two chords, it works so perfectly in the last lesson. The value of this isn't changing as much. But when you have a 3-draw bend, right, suddenly that note becomes different when another chord comes up. We don't have, that's what we call harmony, guys. That's what that is. All right? How notes relate to other notes. And in short, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. It's all going to come. I really wish we could get this going.
Did you log back into the Wi-Fi?
How do I do that, guys?
It keeps wanting you to re-log in, that's how I find, anyway.
Turn off the Wi-Fi and then turn it back on.
Okay.
And then log in again.
Do you remember the login?
I didn't have to. Last time I just turned it on and went
really?
right to it. I'll work on your 3-draw bend and half step right now while I
You want my code?
do this. No, here. Oh, wait, hold on. I think I'm closer.
Wait, scroll down first. Scroll
That's the one you
down.
want, yeah. Hit the bottom, okay.
Yep,
Am I good?
yep, you're on.
Okay, guys. So check it out. So, out here, just learned how to bend the 3-draw. But we're already going to see how you can make this work. Now, I just want you to play up and down these 3 notes. Just follow me on my finger, okay? Now let's groove a little bit. Ready? Just follow me. Ready? Yeah. Yeah. Nice, huh? All right, start on the 4 blow. Very good. Anyone else want to try? Anyone? Any volunteers? One at a time. Let's just do 2 notes, okay? You and me, Daryl, ready? All right. Start on this one, ready? Bend it. Better. Very good. Sometimes the less you know about this shit, the better. Yeah, Dick.
Yeah, pause. Thanks. What I wanted to point out is that a long, long time ago, in my first, my first couple of years of playing, I remember hearing Junior Wells. I was a big fan of Junior Wells, and his playing back then was strictly awesome. And there was some recordings on Vanguard Records, and also some stuff that I heard Junior doing in a radio station interview. And I was really intrigued by, he would play the 4 blow down to the flat 3.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, you could tell, just listening to that. This is one of the things that I recommend that you all try this, because it will develop your sense for what is the pitch of that. That's called the blue note. And it's not really an equal flat third,
Right.
It's this in-between thing
Uh-huh.
that not that many instruments can get that readily.
Yeah.
We're lucky the way we can get this.
And you know, it's not even just that note. That's the most famous of it. But in blues music, oftentimes a note will be played out of tune or a little flat, just so that when it comes back and resolves, it relieves that tension. That's a fine example of this idea that we can concentrate on less and do a whole lot, okay, with it. But just getting these pitches together. Now, just for the sake of understanding the difference between major and minor, okay, let me just show you kind of what it sounds like when we don't play that note right, okay? Boy, this is a lot slower than it was in the last class. So if I'm playing, I told you can play minor over major, but you can't really play major over minor. Here it is right, just two notes. Now I'm playing a little sharp, kind of like Dick was talking about. Now I'm playing that drum set. Okay, now check it out without the bend. Ready? Whoever said you can't play it in the wrong key? Yeah, it's the wrong key. There's not 12 keys, guys. There's fucking 24. There's 12 more. For every major key, there's a minor key. You don't need to go buy a minor harmonica. There's nothing wrong with them. Absolutely not. They're great for a lot of things, especially chords. But you can go in and out of minor on this if you just learn how to get that note in tune. You don't need a fancy scale. You don't even need to learn it in third position, right? You can just play it right there. Okay, here we go. So here's the point of spending a lot of time in one scale. So in Japan, these kids are like born into like an occupation. It's way different than it is over here. I mean, it's like forced on them. They're either, you know, you're born as a potter, you're born as a fisherman, you're born as a calligrapher. And these kids who study calligraphy, right, they have to learn how to paint on this type of rice paper that rips if you put any slashes or curves in it. So they can only do a 45-degree or a 90-degree angle because it rips. The rice paper rips. Now the problem with this is that their granddad and their great-grandfather, they're all famous for these beautiful slashes and brush strokes that curve and arch and create this incredible form of abstract symmetry, right? But they can't do that. They have to go in this square 45-degree angle. There's nothing wrong with the curves, but it teaches them the value. So 15 years later, when they give them a regular piece of paper, when they start to curve, they know why. Okay. Most people associate this scale, this minor pentatonic here, which we're using, as being a blues thing. And it's really good for it. But listen to its real identity. It's almost sounds Native American or something, right? Right?
Yeah.
Really, really, really nice. Okay? But how do we treat it? Well, we treat it as it's that scale that you don't get to bend on the 4 draw. Wow. You know, listen to how cool it sounds when it ripped the rice paper. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to play around this scale, 4 blow and 4 draw, and 5 draw, and through smoke and mirrors, I'm going to try to convince you guys that that's all that there is there. Then I'll put the bend in. Now, wow. Now, accentuate everything, accentuate nothing. That doesn't sound that dark anymore, does it? It's too many colors with my tuxedo. Too many greens, too many oranges. My pink bow tie doesn't stand out anymore. Okay, this is why we learn to play with a fixed grouping of notes. Doesn't matter what scale it is, whether it's major scale or a minor scale or whatever, okay? Does anybody have any questions?
Have you pointed out that every major scale has an associated relative minor scale?
I have not.
And also, there are what's called associated major chords.
But are we exploring harmony?
Like, for example, like a C chord, could say that's the one, the associated major is E flat major, I believe.
I don't know.
And the relative minor is A minor.
A minor.
Yeah.
Right. But I just don't want to confuse them. I just want to, or me.
I couldn't hear you, Jason, I'm sorry.
I didn't say anything. I said it's wonderful weather we're having.
There's lots of scales that have lots of cool stuff to do, and lots of scales that can be used against other scales and things like that. See, you know, in Jimmy's class that he taught in this room before I did the one before this, he was talking about how a C major scale, this is kind of what Dick was getting at, becomes another scale if you use it if you start on a different note and stuff. There's a lot of that. I'm not really here to talk about a scale or how it works or any scale in particular, just how to get into just doing them, right? So like the first thing I would do is like learn the scale, right? And it only takes like 5 minutes. And then you know it, right? And then the next thing you do is start on a different note than the first one. Instead of here, is anybody in here who can play the scale? Anyone want to try? You go. You go. Margie, hit it. Very good. Very, very good. Now, check this out. Why don't you just play it in whole notes all the way up? Okay? So what do I mean by that term, whole note? Anybody know?
No, no, each one is
There you go. There you go. Right? We'll do it again. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Yeah. Give her a round of applause. Come on.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You need me or not? Nice intonation. Okay. Now double time. Halftime, ready? So, one, you think you can do that? Ready?
Oh, sorry.
You got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, man. Sweet. Nice catch up. Ready? Ah. See how it's done, guys?
Yeah.
It's just that easy. When you don't have to think about what note you're going to go to next, you can think about how you're going to play it. That was a gorgeous job. That was gorgeous. Now, but let me tell you my favorite part. My favorite part was when Margie was coming down the scale and played the 5 below by accident. And then noticed it and pulled out.
Still sounded good.
Well, so if 5 below is a 6, it's an important note in the Dorian minor scale. It sounds great. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with the 4-drop bend either. Okay? But there is something wrong with it when it plays you and you don't play it. My favorite part was how she recovered. She immediately realized she hit that note and then pulled away from it. That's when we're growing. That's when that muscle, when that weight is shaken and we're building that muscle. When we're breaking those habits, it's not making the mistakes. Okay, it's observing, the mindful observation of physical over mental, of that taking control of this instrument playing us. Okay. Here's the problem. So we learn scales so that we don't have to learn a language like we're learning it off a TV set. So we're not going, here's a Junior Wells lick, here's a little Walter lick. You know, I've had some gigs where I was a poor imitation of myself. I was trying to pull my own licks from the night before into that lick. Just wasn't happening. Anybody that's at the jam last night knows what that's like. You're there and you're trying to think of, what can I play? That's badass. That's going to impress everybody. How can I do this? You know, what kind of overblow? What position should I play? What did he just do? Oh, I can't do that. He just did it. You know, we're doing all that ego coming in. It's so, man, I got it bad. Worse than most y'all will ever have it. It's all in the moment. It's all in the moment. When we don't have to think about what note we're going to play next, we don't think about how we're going to do it. We stick with something fixed, a small grouping of things, okay? And we learn these scales to get out of this lick habit, right? Here's the problem. The scales then become new licks. Yeah, they sure do. They sure do. Because it's just like learning an alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, P. We learn that song, right?
Yeah.
And we think we know the alphabet when we're like 2 or 3 years old, right? Then we turn 21 and the cops pull us over. And they say, count backwards from H, Jason. Oh, no.
Tell them I went to public school.
Count backwards from 3, Ron. Start your